Do you know deck dropper pistols and deck dropper handguns have the same damage per second? Well, you can see right here that it is indeed the same. But there is a little bit of a difference. If you take a look at the handguns, they have a slower fire rate than the pistol variant. They also do armor piercing damage and have more range. And that's about where the stat details end, but when it comes to actual use, they are quite different. For your pistols, you're going to be using them mostly for rushes, but also to counter enemy cavalry. So against Skaven, I do prefer rushing against them, and the pistols are amazing at shutting down heroes and even lords with a decent amount of armor, just because they'll be able to camp directly on top of them and slowly whittle them down. They're great at shutting down low leadership mobility too, since from the air they don't have too much to worry about, and of course big monsters with low armor. For the greenskins, usually their main focus is going to be the skirmishers and mobile elements, much like the Skaven, except you don't have to be rushing in this situation. One thing that helps the pistols too is that these skirmishers don't have a lot of range, which allows your pistols to fire onto them without taking too much damage. You'll find that they also do decently well against Norska too, but it can be a little bit sketchy. Marauder Horsemen start to get to around the point where it's much more difficult for the pistols to take them out, and this is when you want to start transitioning onto handguns. They have pretty good armor piercing damage, and although their volleys are slower, they get a lot of damage in. So you want to be taking them against different targets. Mid-tier infantry is actually a really nice pick for the handguns. Their extended range keeps them outside of archer pressure, and not only that, against arrows, they can pretty easily dodge the shots. From there, they can trade quite well into archers and fly away before taking too much damage. You'll want to be using them to pick off elite infantry, but in a pinch you can use them to finish off skirmishers too. They have a bit of overlap with the pistol variants, but overall it's generally not worth it to be spending all of your ammunition killing skirmishers. Of course, against other factions too, they are good at taking out mid to elite cavalry, and they can even contest the air occasionally. Lizardmen don't have that many single entities that can easily dodge in the air, so up against Pterodon Riders, you'll find that your handguns do quite well. Of course, you want to be eventually picking off any monsters on the battlefield though, but it's important to get the other threats dealt with first.